With the introduction of the 2019 Toyota RAV4, Toyota has declared war to its rivals. Regardless of whether you're into lively driving, sparing fuel, or notwithstanding going rough terrain, Toyota is promising an adaptation of the RAV4 to fit each way of life, all without relinquishing purchasers who basically need an agreeable day-by-day driver. The 2019 RAV4 looks like what you'd get in the event that you ran a Toyota Highlander hybrid through a Toyota 4Runner channel. The new RAV4 brags more space between the axles yet is shorter in general. It's additionally somewhat more extensive and not exactly as tall. The plan itself gloats a front end with the same anticipating grille and meaty artificial side vents as the 4Runner, while the whole outline is more etched than the gentler and curvier Highlander. The side glass is consistent, similar to the Highlander, however in back it would appear that Toyota's beauticians were looking more carefully at a Jeep Grand Cherokee than one of its own. The upshot is that the new RAV4 looks incredible. We like the recently discovered forcefulness, a takeoff from the past model's clean yet insipid styling. There are likewise particular styling contrasts between the models, with the extravagant limited, rough terrain adventure, and hybrid all wearing exceptional faces and trim. Inside, Toyota is seeking you'll botch the 2019 RAV4 after an extravagance hybrid rather than a standard smash hit. While again limited, adventure, and hybrid models offer qualifications, the general subject is tasteful and contemporary. The infotainment show sits high on the dash, and all models are standard with Toyota's freshest in-tune 3.0 suite, which incorporates Apple CarPlay. It's flanked by control catches and handles for volume and tuning, which makes the framework less demanding to use, as well as shields it from resembling a lost iPad. Atmosphere controls are more remote down the dash, with a plate underneath for your cell phone, including a Qi remote charging cushion. The new RAV4 likewise brags a helpful retire between the upper and lower dash, ideal for little things. Higher-end models can pick a high-yield JBL sound framework. Toyota incorporates its Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 as standard hardware with the 2019 RAV4. This suite of dynamic security frameworks incorporates brake crash cautioning and counteractive action with person on foot recognition, full speed dynamic journey control, path takeoff cautioning and help, and programmed high pillars. New this year to the framework is something many refer to as lane tracing assist, which helps keep the RAV4 in its path regardless of whether expressway markers vanish. Likewise standard is road sign assist, which sees certain sorts of street signs, for example, stop, speed, yield, and don't enter, and shows them on the multi-data show between the primary measures. While Toyota hasn't discharged full determinations on the new RAV4, it adheres to an indistinguishable recipe from the active adaptation, 5 travelers, and a lot of payload space. Without saying numbers, Toyota says the new RAV4 offers better backseat width and legroom, both of which were fantastic previously. No word yet on load volume. Controlling the new RAV4 is a decision of either a 2.5-liter 4-chamber motor or a half-and-half powertrain based off a similar motor. Called Dynamic Force, the new 4-barrel controls either the front or every one of the 4 wheels through a 8-speed program transmission on the 5 gas-just models. The RAV4 hybrid uses a consistently factor program transmission, CVT, and Toyota Hybrid System 2 on the 4 hybrid models. There are 3 distinctive all-wheel drive frameworks. The standard one is presently supplemented by a torque vectoring setup on limited and adventure models that additionally incorporates a sharp back driveline detach framework. Utilizing a couple of grasps on the middle drive shaft, detaching the back haggles fuel utilization when all-wheel drive isn't required. When it is required, the framework can send up to 50% of torque to the back wheels. Couple that with the landscape determination and Toyota guarantees a RAV4 with rough terrain slashes, in spite of the fact that we don't know you ought to take after that Cherokee Trailhawk right now. On the opposite end of the range, the new RAV4 Hybrid XSE is charged as the sportiest model. The blend of crossover and gas motor, suspension upgrades, Toyota says it's the fastest and most enjoyable to drive display. We'll have our opportunity to check whether the 2019 Toyota RAV4 stays faithful to its obligations of everything to all individuals nearer to its own special date toward the finish of 2018, or mid-2019 for hybrid models. We'll likewise have a superior thought of how much this new innovation will cost by at that point, as well.